Tuesday night. Murder Church. Let's rock and roll. Charlie Adelson, episode 11. We're going to continue with Sergeant Christopher Corbett. I think we'll be able to finish this at 2.5 speed. I think we're watching it on currently. It's good. Yeah, give it a like, give it a share it out on any socials you may be on any Discords. Really helps me out. Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock.
Boom. We made it once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here. Murder Church on the Tuesday evening. Thanks everyone for coming through. I see a lot of fine folks already in the chat hanging out here. Let's see who we got. First of all, I need to do this. I always forget to do this before we actually go live. Hope everyone's having a good week. Working on halfway there. Not quite. We're getting there. Time tomorrow. Boom! Bassett Page coming through, showing off the puzzle pieces emoji, the Charlie puzzle pieces emoji. Amanda Calendar coming through. Jersey Jen in the house. True Crime Butterfly in the house. What's up? If I can get that right. Boom! There she is. Frog in the house. Simi Sharp in the house. Boom! The Buzz Nation ladies coming through. Boom! Buzz Nation ladies coming through. What? Missy Mayhem, what up? Doing it. Hell yeah. BGOG. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you very much, Missy. I appreciate it. Missy is going to be on Friday night. Missy makes her Friday return to watch something with me. I'm not sure what we're going to be watching just yet, but it's going to be good and it's going to be horror-esque, and I think it's going to be a good one. I'm going to pick a good one for Missy. I'm going to pick something fun. But it is going to be a horror movie. Like I said, all the way until Halloween, we're going to be rocking and rolling with creepy movies. I'm not saying they're all going to be the scariest movies ever. Just if anyone watched on last Friday, it had the creep vibe, but it was also pretty cheesy. I like a good cheesy horror movie. But we're going to see what we get into this Friday. It'll be fun. Holly Berry coming through here. What's up, Holly? See you in the chat as well. Good to see you. Missy Friday, that's right. Missy Friday, that's right. Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing a damn thing. But tonight, and then Thursday, of course, is the reaction night. It's a pretty easy one. I just got to find a body cam footage to react to. Last week we did two, because the first one was so short. So I got to keep that in mind. I got to keep the length in mind. Or maybe just do a couple. We'll see. But tonight, per the usual, on a Sunday and Tuesday, what do? We do Murder Church. And we are currently making our way through the Charlie Adelson trial on the trial channel. And again, I'm going to shout these guys out every single time. I really appreciate them for letting me use this playlist. There's the channel with the playlist if you want to check them out. They're about to hit 40K right now. They're doing really well. Also awesome on X. They've been really kind. But yeah, we started working Sunday on, on Sergeant Christopher Corbett. And I think we're going to be able to finish this if we still use 1.5 speed. So it should be doable. I got a wheel in the motion. Already rolling. We got 5 names on that wheel. So we're looking for 7 more names to get ourselves a spin here tonight. And I should be getting some stuff out. I haven't done it yet. I know. I've got the envelopes in hand. I've just got to do it. I'm going to try to do some of those tomorrow and get out some goodies. But in the meantime, let's see if we can give away some more here tonight. We'll see how that goes. But otherwise, let's hang out. Let's watch a little bit of this. Shan't we? Shan't we?
All right, what is the next, or tell us about the location then at 10:31 for this flurry stock.
So picking up with Ms. Magbanwa's locations from the previous 9:47 a.m., she's
time.
getting closer to Mr. Rivera's residence. Events from 10:02 to 10:25 is communicating with the cell site and relatively close to Mr. Rivera's residence. And then that final event, we saw that final communication at 10:31 a.m. We see, again, looking at the sector that her handset is using, that it is consistent with Mr. Rivera's residence.
So could this be consistent, or is Rivera's location here after his phone travels out from Carmona's and back?
Yes, we do have events with Mr.
So
Rivera.
anybody that doesn't remember, on Sunday, this guy's getting deep in the details. So if you haven't seen the beginning of this, I would go back and find the beginning of this one, of this dude, at least from Sunday. Leading up to him, it's whatever. I would watch the whole thing. Hopefully watch the entire trial if you're jumping in here. But this guy's really interesting. He has a lot of the deets about the cell phone locations of all of the players. So super interesting.
These are the times, approximate locations of the cell sites, again, consistent with his residence.
All right. So could it be that McBanois, Garcia, and Rivera are all consistent with being at Rivera's residence at the same time that morning?
It could be, yes.
Okay. All right. When is Catherine Ribano's next communication on her phone?
So the next communication that we have is 11:23 a.m.
So about 50 minutes later?
Yes.
All right. And where was her phone located 50 minutes later at 11:23?
So 11:23, we see the cell site and sector that her handset is using. It will be consistent with having moved away from Mr. Rivera's. It's now south of Mr. Rivera's, and could be consistent with Ms. Mascaro's residence.
Okay. Could this be consistent with her leaving Adelson's house that morning, dropping the money off, and then going to pick up her kids from Mascaro's?
Yes.
All right. I want to move on to our next section, which is I wanted to ask you about some different messages that you found in the iCloud, and then we'll be done.
True Crime Butterfly, thank you very much. I appreciate that $2 holla. Thank you.
Okay.
So, the defense theory in this case is that Catherine Ribano frantically showed up at the defendant's home the night of July 18th, informed him that some violent men killed his brother-in-law, and were now blackmailing him. Were there any text messages between McBanois and Adelson about blackmail or extortion in the days following the Dan Martell murder?
Oh shit! Hold on.
Certainly none that I found.
Let me fix this. Make it a little bit better, because there's a lot of stuff that we want to see everything of, including texts like this. So let me just go ahead and make this right on the screen, so I will stop being annoyed by it. There we go. It should be good.
Can you show us the text between McBanois and the defendant in the week that followed the murder?
So these are some texts from that week. This would be July 19th. This would be the day after the homicide. These texts start at 12:13, just after noon on the 19th. And we see them going back and forth about going to the pool or the beach, and kind of casual conversation.
Okay, so this is the same day of all the call activity we just saw.
Yes.
And locations we just saw. And so sometime after noon at 12:13, Charlie Adelson says he's headed to the gym. Are you going to the beach? It's so nice.
Yes.
Okay. Looking at also that week, looking at your next slide, July 22nd. They're talking a little bit about the weather, how late it is in the day. Catherine McBanois asked for Jerry to call in a prescription scalp medication.
Yes, a prescription for shampoo.
Okay, prescription shampoo. Okay. All right, and what's next?
So on July 23rd.
So on this one, Charlie Adelson says, don't forget to text Jerry your info. He'll call it in the morning, sweet dreams. And then later, she says something that he says, laugh out loud to.
Correct, yes.
All right. What's next?
So the July 25th.
On July 25th, she says, have a good day, smiley face. He says, you too.
Yes.
In all of the messages, from the records between this defendant and Catherine McBanois from 2014 to 2016, are there any messages where they discuss Charlie Adelson being blackmailed or extorted or violent people wanting to hurt his family, anything like that?
None that I found.
During those years, though, do the defendant and Catherine McBanois stay in regular contact with each other, even after they break up that fall in
Yes.
2014? Okay. From the messages, do they appear to have a close friendship?
They do, yes.
Okay. And when I say in regular contact, sometimes they talk multiple times a day, every day.
Correct.
All right. Can you show us just a couple of examples of their close friendship? Can you show us October 6th, 2014?
Yeah, so this talks, and these be 2:18 in the morning. 2:18 in the afternoon of October 6th. It's communication about him being a good father, potential to be a good father.
Okay. And she's saying that you have to find the right girl that you can deal with and to see if she's worth it?
Yes.
Okay. And what's next? And if she
So I'll say, all bitches are crazy. Let's go back. All bitches are crazy. Left that part out. Boom, Jersey Gin, $2 holla. Put Amanda Calendar on the wheel. There we go. I got you on there. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. One of the Gins has showed up here tonight. The gang of Gins. They're a gang roaming the YouTube streets.
To see if she's worth it?
Yes.
Okay. And what's next? And if she gives you hell, Catherine McBanois will set her straight, winky face, and he says, I love you. It makes me feel good that you care about me. I'm very lucky to have you as part of my life. And he says, I'll always care about you.
That's correct.
Jen Manda.
That's correct.
All right. Next, she says, no, can we go back to the next one then after he says he's lucky to have her as part of his life?
Yes, I'm going to need to fix something on that slide.
Okay, no problem. What do you say with that? Can you show us the next one? Okay, I think that's the last one we read. Okay. Can you go to the next one after that? All right. She says,
Oh, and don't forget, I did forget to say this anyways. You guys probably already know. Book club immediately following this stream right here. We're putting down chapters 38 and 39. I'm going to go over my notes tonight about those as we enter the last 5 chapters of the book. So.
Just a second. Okay. Here she says, I always know, this is in February of 2015, is that correct?
Correct, February 24th.
She says, see, I always know how to make you smile. He says, yes, you do. She says, good, I love you. He says, I love you too.
Correct.
All right, what's next? On October 27th of 2015, she says, hey, you're probably busy celebrating your birthday. I just want to thank you so much for helping me out. I love you. I love you. Have a great birthday. I hope I see you soon this week. And he says, can't wait to get lunch with you. You're the best. And I'm lucky to have you as a friend for life. Smiley face.
Yes.
Okay, what's next? All right, and then this one they kind of exchange, you don't miss me, I do miss you, with some, okay. Go to the next one. All right, this one, they're talking about something, and he ends it with, LOL, you're the best.
Correct.
And LOL, does that mean laugh out loud?
It does, yes.
All right. Were you involved in securing a wiretap of some of the suspects in this case in 2016?
Yes.
And what is a wiretap?
A wiretap is sort of a general term for our ability to intercept either wire communications, something said over a phone line, electronic communications, maybe a text, or oral communications, things that are spoken. But when law enforcement is able to lawfully intercept those to record them during the course of an investigation.
Does an order have to be signed by a judge and sent to the phone carrier in order to have authority to conduct a wiretap?
Yes.
And so because of that, I mean, are we able to go back and listen to the content of these phone calls that we've seen today from back in 2014?
No, we don't have the ability to go back and record phone calls in the past. The only way that we would know about communications would be if we were to extract a phone, like we see the Cellbrite extractions or forensic extractions of phones, we may be able to see some text messages, but we don't have the ability to capture things back in the past.
At that time, we didn't know that a crime was about to be committed.
That's correct.
Okay. But if for a wiretap investigation, police can get that order to listen to the suspect's phones in real time.
That's correct.
All right. Can you explain to the jury what type of equipment is needed to conduct a wiretap?
Certainly, it's relatively complicated in today's world, but there is equipment on the carrier side where they're able to send us information about the activity, the text message content, and information about the calls, who's calling who, all of that information. And then they're also able to send us the actual content. So they're able to send us the audio when someone's on a phone call of what's being spoken. And then we have computer servers that receive that information and software that displays it for us, an intercept kind of interface where we're able to see the incoming calls. We have some controls where we can play calls back, and we can see calls for the day, write synopsis for them as they're coming in. So it's, again, a lot of computer equipment necessary to conduct that.
Do the people who are listening or monitoring to these calls in real time have to go through certain types of training to do that?
They do. First, we do what we call minimization training. And we are not, law enforcement, we're not allowed to intercept calls that may be privileged or not relevant to the investigation. So we can't listen to everything that is said. So the first thing that a monitor or someone who's listening has to know is, one, about the investigation. So they have to read that affidavit, the application for the wiretap. They have to read that thoroughly and be briefed on the investigation so that they know the relevant persons, the relevant evidence that we're looking for, kind of the history of the investigation, so they have some context when they're listening to these calls going on. And then they have training on how to actually do that minimization, how to actually stop the recording so that we can't hear that information, we can't record that information that we don't believe is relevant or authorized under the order. So they receive, again, training about the investigation and then how to actually operate the software.
And they're required to minimize it, right? If it's not relevant to the investigation.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And are you limited in time to decide whether the conversation is relevant or not?
We are. Again, everything is geared towards not intercepting communications that we shouldn't. So for parties that we know never talk about anything relevant, then that period of time that we listen may be less. And then we immediately minimize because we know historically they never talk about anything that's relevant to the investigation. For parties that do communicate about the investigation, then that period of time may be a little longer. The amount of time that we stay minimized or the amount of time that we come off of that before we come back and spot check, or we will come back and see if the topic of the conversation has changed. Are they now talking about something that's relevant? Again, that varies a little bit based on the monitor's knowledge of the case, history of communication between them. But yes, we do have some guidelines for the amount of time that we can listen and how long before we can go back.
Okay. How can we as listeners of the call tell if an officer is doing that?
You'll hear an audible tone during the call. It's an abrupt audible tone.
And is the portion of the call that is minimized recorded then?
It is not recorded.
All right. When listening, do you have to be on the lookout for suspects who may try to mask the meaning of what they're talking about just in case law enforcement is listening?
Yes.
Is that common for people to do?
It is, yes.
All right. And were Catherine McVanwan and Charlie Adelson's phones tapped in this case?
They were, yes.
All right. Who supervises these wire calls?
I was the wire room supervisor, the person responsible for kind of the technical side of it. And then from the legal side, there is a state attorney assigned that is conducts the training, keeps up with the investigation, and ultimately a judge who authorized it.
And who keeps or maintains the recordings of the calls?
During the investigation or during the course of the wiretap, we have a partnership with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. They're the first point that receives that and sends it on to us. They maintain those originally, and then at the completion of it, those tapes are transferred to us in our custody and maintained securely.
Okay. All right. So the bump in this case, was that at 1:47 p.m. on April 19th, 2016?
The bump. My favorite part about this case. Boom! Jersey Jen, $2 holla! And she's trying to help out old Amanda Calendar here. Amanda now has 3 chances on this upcoming will. So the chances are high. We'll see if the will God smile upon thee.
When I say the bump, I mean when Donna Adelson was approached by the undercover officer and handed the article about Dan Martell's murder?
Yes.
All right, so looking at 1:47 p.m. on April 19th, 2016, who was Donna Adelson's first call after the bump? Can you tell us that from the call detail records?
I can, yes.
Charlie.
So we see here her records from that date. The red line indicates the time of the bump or the time of the contact. And we see that her first call at 2:09 p.m. is outgoing to Charlie Adelson.
God, that calls.
And I heard about emails in the course of the trial, which
ridiculous.
detail Donna Adelson's strong interest in the divorce of Wendy Adelson and Dan Martell. Is there phone
Neither one of them
communication
can
in the
shut
iCloud
up.
between Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson that shows Charlie Adelson's interest in the divorce?
Yes.
Okay. Can you show us that first message? Looking at maybe October of 2013, was there a message in mid-October about that? All right, what does this say?
So this is from Donna Adelson to Charlie Adelson. It says, a horrible evening for your sister and for us. Dad finally had to walk outside to lower his blood pressure. Just awful. I can't even explain.
She says she's on the way back to Wendy's house.
Yes.
Okay, can we go to the next slide? Now on the slide before, did it say, I bet let's talk this week by Charlie Adelson after he heard that?
Yes.
Okay. Looking at the next slide, what happened on October 30th of 2013?
There's, again, a message from Donna Adelson indicating she just got a text from Wendy mentioning that she's moving ahead with the purchase of a home.
Okay. And what does Charlie Adelson respond to that? Can you read those to us?
He indicates, she never told me. Why is she doing this? She never mentions it to me on the phone. I guess it's because it's stupid. Did Danny give her permission to move? Schools.
Okay. And what does he say after that?
He says he will hold that over her and use it as leverage, especially after she puts money down. She is really stupid. Give them their asking price? Question mark.
And what about after that?
He says I can try again, but I only talk to her about 1 time a week and leave about 7 messages. And then he indicates this would be October 31st, and the times here on these messages are still in coordinated universal time. So in October, we're 4 hours behind, but that should be about 1 a.m. But he says, spoke to Wendy. I think I made some headway. Hope you're having an awesome time in Israel. Have a good night.
Okay. Now, the times that we saw earlier in your presentation, those have all already been converted to the actual time that was sent, right?
That's correct. Everything up to this point has been converted to our local time. And I do point out that communications with Donna here that we've just been talking about, those, if you notice the time in the bottom of the messages still say UTC plus 0, which means there's been no offset or subtracting of time to get to our local time zone.
So in those messages, he seems to be thinking that her buying a house is not a good idea. Danny will hold it over her head, use it as leverage, and he's trying to talk her out of it.
Correct.
All right. And then what's the next message to his mom? Wait, I'm sorry. What was? Did you read the last one?
I did. Spoke to Wendy. I think I made some headway. Hope you're having an awesome time in Israel. Have a good night.
Okay. And how does his mom respond? Okay. Let me go to.
Just indicates that the Adelsons appear to be in Israel at the time, and look forward to speaking with him soon.
Okay. Danny sent them some pictures of the kids in Halloween costumes, it says.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go to the next one.
So Charlie states, I spoke to Wendy for 20 minutes last night. She texted me today that she pulled the plug on the house.
Okay. With some smiley faces.
Yes.
So many smileys. Boom! Jersey Jen coming through with another $1, dude. Jersey Jen goes wild in here. This is going to be for her. Jersey Jen going to get a spot. Jersey Jen's got an opportunity. Win some goodies. I don't think a person can have too many coasters, personally. I don't think there's a limit to coasters.
And how does Donna Adelson respond?
Wow, Charlie, thank you again. How did you accomplish that? You're a miracle worker. Tell us.
Okay. Lots of exclamation points used there.
Yes.
And this is on Halloween of 2013, on October 31st of 2013, and then the day after.
Tell
yes.
us.
Okay. And then the conversations about her buying the house and Charlie Adelson against it. That was all the day before Halloween of 2013.
Yes.
Could buying a house in an area be unfavorable for like a motion for relocation?
I believe so, yes.
Right. What about in February of 2014?
I believe there's more here in this exchange from November 1st. This will be the continuation of the October 30th to the 31st to the 1st.
Okay.
But he indicates, in response to the question of how did you accomplish it, he responds with a series of text about how that went.
So Danny would have used it against Wendy as leverage. She needs to get permission from him. He has several other reasons why it would have been the dumbest mistake of her life, the second dumbest mistake of her life.
Yes.
Okay, and what's next?
He says it took about 15 minutes of talking to her. I basically told her owning a house is like getting married, renting is like dating. Why the F would you want to get married again?
Okay. And what's next in February of 2014? Was there some more messages from the mom?
Yes, so February 15th of 2014, so been in the evening hours or afternoon hours, Donna Adelson indicates that Wendy is stressed out.
Okay. Does she say that Wendy will have to go through another depo? Could that be short for deposition?
Yes,
Is that where the other side's attorney gets to ask you a bunch of questions?
it is, yes.
That's outrageous. They're talking about repetitive motions being filed, and the $500,000 account is the same $50,000 he tried to get his hands on last time, that it's in Wendy's name.
Correct.
Okay, and what does Charlie Adelson say to that?
Crazy.
And what does Donna Adelson say after that? Total waste of the court's time. Yesterday, he sent Wendy a text that said he saw her leaving the school at 2:07 and stalking her.
Yes,
Okay, and what does Donna Adelson say after that? That Wendy wants to file a protective order, is that what that said?
yes,
But that's very hard to do unless there's a previous history of threats or abuse. But she wants to let the judge know he's stalking her.
yes,
Okay, what's next? And Charlie Adelson says, I agree.
correct.
All right, what does Donna Adelson say after that?
Anyway, it looks like mid-March or mid-April before anything will be resolved regarding him paying her through the court system.
Okay, and then does Donna Adelson go on to complain about the judge on the case giving him too much time to pay?
Yes,
Okay, and what's next? Okay, is that more complaints about the judge in the divorce case?
yes,
Okay, what's next? Charlie Adelson, does he say how much per hour the divorce attorney costs and that she needs to give a refund or complain to the bar?
yes,
All right, and what's after that? Does he ask whether Wendy's mad at her attorney yet?
he does, yes.
Okay, what's next? What does Donna Adelson say here?
In response, he says yes, but don't get, I assume that to be her, worked up about it. She's too stressed about it. Let's just keep conversation with her light and not add to what she's dealing with. Let her just get through Monday with positive family support. Nothing stressful. Trust me on this.
Okay, so Wendy's so stressed out, she doesn't want Charlie Adelson adding any more stress to her.
Correct.
All right.
The way these two text is crazy.
What about after that on February
Like
17th?
everything's manipulation.
So does Donna Adelson indicate there that she's just leaving the courthouse?
Yes.
Okay. And what does Charlie Adelson say?
He says at work and then ask, how did it go?
What does Donna Adelson say to that?
Okay, we'll talk later.
Okay. Charlie Adelson asks what happened.
Yes.
Does Donna Adelson then go into some detail about what happened in court, what Wendy wants the parenting coordinator to do, and that Wendy wants the parenting coordinator questioned because she hates Danny, and will ask the court to have.
Are you objecting? Yes. What is your objection?
Read the whole thing or not all of it?
Please read the whole thing, the whole completeness.
The judge was really pissed at him for not paying Wendy, but she will allow them to depot her with very strict limitations on the questions. Then Wendy wants the parenting coordinator questioned because she hates Danny and will ask the court to have him court-appointed psychological testing! Exclamation points.
Okay. And what's next?
Charlie Adelson states, this is February 17th, her attorney is going to run up a very large bill for Danny.
All right. And Donna Adelson says, "Yep."
Yep.
All right. What about 2 days later on February 19th?
Another text from Donna Adelson. If you speak to Wendy today, tread lightly. Don't ask questions about the depot, her lawyer, etc. Tough day and she's really stressed out. The asshole showed up at soccer yesterday, and when she tried to leave with the boys, he said, no, stay here and play with Abba. She to the boys that Abba had to leave, and he said, no, I don't. Of course, she woke up to another email from him telling her that she is lying to the boys about their father's whereabouts, and that this will be brought before the court. Such a fucker. It was Wendy's day. He is allowed to attend the children's activities, but that's where it ends.
So Donna Adelson looks like she was mad that he didn't just attend the activities. Dan Markell engaged with the kids, gave him a hug, said he wanted to play with them.
Yes.
All right. Was there a text message exchange in March of 2014 where Donna Adelson asked Charlie Adelson to erase a text that she sent?
Yes.
Okay, can you show us that? Can you read it to us?
2 texts here. The first says 37 miles to Gainesville. And the next is, I can't talk now, but I'll text you before we stop in Gainesville where I can go to the bathroom and have a moment of privacy. Then I'll call. Please pick up because I will have very limited, quote, alone time today. Erase this text after you read it.
Okay, so she wants to go to a bathroom to talk to Charlie Adelson on the phone in private when she gets in Gainesville here,
Yes.
but wants him to erase that text on his phone.
It's what it indicates, yes.
Okay. Then a few minutes later, what does she say?
The Inspector Gadget sound effect. Just that explosion. Or maybe like a GIF. Delete this after you read this. Jersey Jen just finished out a will. Boom. There we go. $2 does it. Thank you, Jen. Man, Jen's all over this thing, too. She has a very good opportunity at winning. And so is Amanda, though. Amanda's on here a few times also. Boom. There we go. I will get a wheel rocking and rolling. We got a spin, baby. Boom, boom. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Jim. Appreciate that.
We'll stop in about 5 minutes, and I can speak to you privately about Dad's birthday gift when I'm out of the car. I have some good ideas.
Okay. So in this text, she's saying that the text she sent 30 minutes before is about Dad's birthday gift?
It would seem so, yes.
Or that the call she wanted to make was about Dad's birthday gift, rather?
Yes.
Does she ask him to erase this text message, though?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And that's the message where
Nothing
she's
sus
talking
about
about
it.
what the secret call is supposed to be about, right?
Yes.
If
Setting up
the
a
defendant's
hit.
dad, Harvey Adelson's birthday isn't until July, it would appear that they were planning a birthday present for him here on this phone call in a Gainesville bathroom about 4 months in advance, right?
Yes.
All right, what does Charlie Adelson say when his mom
Setting up a hit.
He replies, great.
Okay, and what's next?
Charlie responds, if you don't pick up, I'll call you back in 30 seconds.
Okay, and what's next?
Don't call yet. I need 5 minutes till we get to Panera Bread.
Panera Bread. Little Panera Bread.
Right, was there
A little murder
message in
talk.
May of 2014 where Donna Adelson references having a tough conversation with Wendy?
Yes, and I'm sorry, there's an additional response here after these text messages where Charlie Adelson texts, you guys back yet?
Okay, and that's it. I'm sorry, can you go back?
I can
That-
try.
That would appear to be about,
Yes, does not like going backwards.
okay. Does it appear that the you guys back yet message was about 6 hours after the I'll call you when I get to the bathroom?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Could that be consistent with arriving back in Miami from stopping in the Gainesville area?
Could be yes.
All right, so this message references a tough conversation with Wendy and a horrible morning with Danny
Yes.
and a tough conversation with her.
Yes.
All right, looking at June 7th of 2014, what does Donna Adelson say to Charlie Adelson that day?
Just waiting for Gary to come. Should be here any minute. Hope you have a good evening. Would you like the apartment? The weekend of June 19th to the 22nd. I think we're going to Tally. I miss the boys too much to wait till Dad's birthday week to see them. Besides, we want you to spend some time here. We love you. Heart, Mom and Dad.
Okay. Now, June 7th, this would be the day after, would this be the day after Garcia and Rivera arrived back in Miami with an unsuccessful trip for them to Tallahassee where they did not accomplish the murder of Dan Markel?
Yes.
So this would have been the day after they got back in Miami from Tallahassee.
Yes.
Okay? And what's next?
He responds, okay, have fun. Still working on Dad's B-Day present. To which Donna Adelson says, I know it's a tough B-Day, being 70 and all, but I know you'll come through. And then there's a thumbs up, kissy face, Mom.
Okay. And those messages are on the following day, on June 8th, 2014?
They're actually June 7th if you do the time correction.
I apologize. So still on June 7th, still the day after Garcia and Rivera arrived back in Miami
That's correct.
after they were not able to kill Dan Markel.
That's correct.
I gotta get a water. I'll be right back. I didn't bring a water down here. Like a damn fool.
And to stop here for the night. Good morning, members of the jury. We are going to continue with the examination of Sergeant Corbett. Last night when we left off, the state finished its direct examination. The defense is now going to have its opportunity to cross-examine him. When the defense is ready, you may examine.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant Corbett, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Now, you testified yesterday about phone records.
I did, yes, sir.
Okay. Phone records are only kept for a certain amount of time, right?
That's correct.
So you subpoenaed these records back in the 2014, 15, 16 timeframe, right?
Yes, most of the records would have been obtained primarily in the 2014, 2015. Those additional records obtained just prior to the intercept.
In the PowerPoint presentation that you showed yesterday, there was no new data in there since the arrests of Sigfredo Garcia, Luis Rivera, and Katie Magbanua back in 2016, correct?
In the presentation, we have no new data.
Let me ask you differently. The presentation may have changed,
Correct.
but you didn't receive any new data since that point in time.
That's correct.
So everything in that presentation you had back in 2016.
Yes, we should have.
And you're aware that Mr. Adelson wasn't arrested until 2022, right?
Yes.
So it's fair to say that whatever is in your presentation, someone didn't think it was enough to arrest Mr. Adelson, correct?
Objection to speculation and relevance.
Relevant.
I'll move on. when you're doing your analysis, you are just plopping data in and looking for patterns, right?
That's one of the things I do, yes.
Okay. It's hard, believe me.
I know.
Okay. And let me say this: the amount of work was tremendous in putting this investigation together. Correct?
It was, yes.
The amount of work in 2014 and 2015 in going through bus videos and ATM videos and SunPass records and phone records must have been thousands and thousands of man hours, right?
Yes,
And ultimately, you got the two shooters, correct?
we did.
As well as Katie Magbanua, right?
Yes.
And those records led you right to them, but it was a lot of work and amazing work, right?
It was a thorough and complete investigation, yes.
Amongst a lot of agencies, right?
Yes.
Now, when Charlie Adelson was arrested in 2022, the phone companies no longer had records for 2013 or 2014, right?
It would depend on which company. Some would, yes.
But AT&T didn't, correct?
AT&T may have, yes.
Well, if I told you they didn't, would you believe me?
Oh, looks like we got a cross going on. Look at my water bottle. This thing's like a lopsided cock. This is how it came out of the plastic. The plastic has sort of molded it. You can see you can kind of straighten it up. But it's naturally it leans to the right. How's it hanging? To the right. It's just thought I'd let you know.
Yes.
Okay. And if you don't have the phone records, you also don't have cell site data, right?
That's correct.
And so if you don't have the phone records and you don't have the cell site data, you're limited to the phone records that you have, right?
Correct.
And your records began in May of 2014, right? Your phone records.
Yes.
So if we wanted to see the patterns of these calls at time periods before May of 2014, we are not able to do so, correct?
That's correct.
Now,
Whoever's phone is going off, turn it off or leave the courtroom. Please continue.
thank you, Your Honor.
Oh.
Now, I think you said on direct that when you look at the call detail records, there's sometimes duplication.
There is, yes.
So sometimes one call will look like 3 calls.
Yes.
And cell site data, you talked about it a little bit on direct.
What's up, Net Detective?
Cell site data isn't for every single call, right?
No, we do not have cell site data for every call. If the call does not reach the handset, then we would see a record of that attempt, but there may not be cell site data associated with that particular event.
And with text messages, sometimes you can get cell site data and sometimes you can't, right?
It's largely dependent upon the carrier. Certain carriers do provide cell site location for text messages, and others do not. For instance, Verizon.
What about AT&T?
AT&T does provide location information with text messages.
But in your call detail records, aren't there instances where there are text messages and there's no cell site data associated with those text messages?
So again, there may be attempted messages that do not reach the handset, where there may not be location. And then we kind of talk about text messages as a singular thing, but really we have messages that are completed through the carrier that go through the carrier's network, and then we have things such as iMessage, which from Apple devices, iOS devices, they don't go through the normal carrier network, and so we don't see records at all for those in the call detail records that the carrier provides. So there are a lot of messages that we see for which there is no associated location information or events in the carrier records.
Okay, and it's scary that I'm doing this with you with my technological inefficiencies, but let's talk about iMessages a little bit. So iMessages are when an iPhone user is speaking to an iPhone user through text messages, correct?
Yes.
So if Charlie Adelson and his parents are messaging each other, it will often go through iMessages, right?
That's correct.
And associated with that, you wouldn't see cell site data, correct?
That's correct.
Now, SunPass records, you got them in 2014, right? In 2015.
I was not the one who received those directly, so I don't know exactly when they were obtained.
Okay, but you testified to some SunPass records yesterday, right?
I don't believe that we did.
Okay. Are you aware that in 2022 you can't get SunPass records back in 2014?
I was not.
Okay. Let's talk about frequency reports. And you mentioned this a bit yesterday, but I want to make sure it's clear. You said that one thing that you look at as an investigator is frequency reports, right? Meaning the amount of times that people are calling each other.
Yes.
And you said that you're looking at that to see if there are co-conspirators. I think that's one of the words you used, right?
And that is one of the things we're looking for, yes.
Okay. But frequency reports can also be seen between wife and husband, girlfriend and boyfriend, mother and son, and daughter and father, right?
Correct.
So the fact that a mother and a son and a girlfriend and a boyfriend call each other a lot doesn't necessarily make them co-conspirators. Is that fair to say?
That's fair.
So, Tasha?
Depends on your perspective, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, these calls and call logs and frequency reports, they don't tell you what people are actually saying, right?
The records that I have from the carriers, no, we have no content with that.
Okay. You're just seeing the calls,
Yes.
and you're just seeing or looking for some patterns.
Yes.
But sometimes those patterns can bring about false positives or false assumptions, right?
Well, the patterns are what they are. The communications happened. They're there in the records. Their relevance or meaning is, could be varied.
And their relevance or meaning sometimes determined by guesswork, right?
I wouldn't say guesswork.
Assumptions.
I think the call patterns are looked at in conjunction with other information, other evidence, other things that are going on at the time, and the totality of that would lend whatever relevance to those calling patterns.
Fair enough. So let's look at the totality of these calls, okay? So let's start with July 1. And from July 1, you can tell from text messages that there was an incident between Sigfredo Garcia and Charlie Adelson, right?
Yes.
And so what I'm going to be talking to you about today is not only your report and your call records, but in trying to find out the patterns, you looked at Mr. Adelson's and other people's text messages, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And you can see from those text messages that this confrontation between Sigfredo Garcia and Mr. Adelson caused a lot of stress. You can see that, right, in the text messages?
Yes.
For instance, you can see in the text messages that for the only time in your investigation, there's text messages from Charlie Adelson's dad to Charlie Adelson after midnight.
I don't know that that's the only time, but it could be.
Well, you would agree that at 12:38 in the morning, his dad texts Charlie and says, "Are you home?" And Charlie says, "Yes, home safe," and the dad has a thumbs up. Do you agree with that? When you went through your investigation, you saw that, correct?
Well, I certainly don't remember every one of the tens of thousands of messages, but I can look it up real quick and confirm that.
May I
but
approach, Your Honor? And it goes to the next page.
And are these times adjusted?
They are adjusted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's either 12:38 or 8 o'clock in the evening.
It's 12:38.
Okay. I can confirm that as well.
It's on the second.
Okay.
Rash is like the same height as this guy while he's sitting down. It's a short man. Rash does the Barney Fife snort. You guys see that, right? Like he tries to look like he's extra cool with the.
Judge, while he's looking that up, can we open your sidebar?
May I approach? You may continue with your examination.
Did that refresh your recollection?
I'm not finding those messages at that time. So there is a message from Harvey Adelson to Charlie, or from Charlie to Harvey saying, trying to return your call. That's at 8:10 in the evening on the 2nd. We're talking July 2nd.
We're talking July 2nd at 12:38 in the morning. If you want to look on your thing at 8:38 in the evening, that's fine as well.
It's not there either. Because I've not adjusted this.
Are you sure that you have all the text messages?
This is one of the extractions. I'm not sure where that came from. I don't recognize that format that you have. But
But are you sure that when you did this report, it included every text message received on Charlie Adelson's iCloud?
I believe that it does, yes.
But you don't have those, right?
I do not see those in what I'm looking at right here in the timeline.
I'll
So
move on. You talked about this June 2nd, 2014 rental car pickup.
Charlie's like, I'm hopeful. Was that good? Was that a good thing? Was that no? Not.
Remember
Yes.
that? And during your testimony, you put Miss Magbanowa at the rental car pickup, correct?
consistent with that, yes.
If Miss Magbanowa testified yesterday that she knew nothing about the first trip and had nothing to do with renting the rental car, that would be a lie, right?
Objection to speculation and relevance.
Well, the rule is the relevance. Sustained as the speculation. You may rephrase if you're capable.
If she testified yesterday that she had nothing to do with being near the rental car or knowing about the first trip, that would not be consistent with your data, correct?
I don't know her testimony, but it would not be consistent with the location of the handset.
Now, Charlie Adelson's handset wasn't located anywhere near the rental car on that day, correct?
That's correct.
And in fact, looking at his text messages, you could tell that he was working as late as 9:05 that evening, correct?
Again, I don't recall the content of every message, but there was nothing that I recall associating him with the rental of the vehicle.
May I approach Your Honor, try to refresh witness's recollection?
You know?
Does this refresh your recollection that he was leaving the office at 9:05 p.m. that evening?
There's nothing about leaving the office. There's a request to put something in a safe. Thanks again. And I don't see anything that says I'm leaving.
What's this something in a safe?
I left a container of bone on your desk. It's in a blue box that says Zimmer on it. It's about 500 in bone.
Okay. Do you know what Charlie Adelson does for a living?
I do.
What does he do? What does he do for a living?
He is a periodontist.
And does he work with bones?
He does.
Okay. And do you know that he works with a dentist called Bloom?
I'm not familiar with that name.
And that dentist's office is in northern Fort Lauderdale?
Not familiar with that.
Okay. And so when you looked at that day to see where he was located, this text message meant nothing to you, right?
It just indicates that something was left in an office, and there's not a temporal, there's not a time with that. I just left something in your office, I'm leaving now. There's nothing in that exchange that gives me an idea of where he was at that particular time. And so no, I did not consider that in that. We look at the cell site locations primarily, but again, I have nothing that associated Mr. Adelson with the rental of that vehicle.
You can agree that when that message is sent, it's at 9:05 p.m., correct?
In your report, yes, sir?
Okay. You can agree that on your chart, remember you did that chart with all the red and blue arrows?
Yes, sir.
You can agree on your chart, his first phone call is to Catherine Magbanua at 8:57 p.m.
Again, not having memorized every call, let me...
It's the first page of your chart.
The first call that evening, yes, was at 8:57 p.m.
If you take my word that he was leaving the office at around 9 o'clock, would that indicate that that call was made from the car?
If he was leaving the office, then it could have been made from the car, yes.
Okay. And there are no text messages before that call between him and Ms. Magbanua, correct? The last text message is at 6:41 that evening, correct?
Again, I can look at that. I will take your word. I do not recall any text messages that evening relevant to the rental of the vehicle.
The next page of this exhibit has a call back from Catherine Magbanua. Do you see that?
At 9:17 p.m.?
Correct.
Yes.
The first call is only a minute long, right?
Correct.
And she calls him back. There's nothing odd for a girlfriend to call a boyfriend back on the phone, right?
Correct.
The next page has a text message at 9:31 from Wendy Adelson to Harvey Adelson. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Harvey Adelson's Wendy Adelson's dad, right?
Correct.
Do you have any idea what that text message said?
I don't know that we looked at that. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't recall what the text message was. Nothing of relevance to that rental of the vehicle.
But relevant enough to put it on this chart.
It's just a record of the communications. So the communication occurred, so it's included as in that series of communications.
Now, 2022, I have no access to Ms. Adelson's text back then, right?
We have the forensic extraction of her handset, which could contain that text message.
What if I told you it doesn't?
Then it doesn't.
So we have no idea what
Cammy's?
that text says. It could say anything.
I'm not familiar with what the content of that text message is, no.
The next call you have is a call from Charlie Adelson at 9:44 to the Adelson residence. Calls his parents, right?
That's correct.
And again, using my time frame, he still could be in the car, right?
He could be.
By the way, when you went through the patterns, did you notice that he makes a lot of calls to his girlfriend and his parents in the morning and in the late evening?
He makes a lot of calls at all times, but yes.
Did you notice more calls in the morning when he's driving to work, in the evening when he's driving home from work, than in the middle of the day?
That would be correct, yes.
Okay. And are you aware that Charlie Adelson was working at the Adelson Institute the next day?
I was not.
Are you aware that he had a big surgery the next day at the Adelson Institute?
I was not.
Okay. We're going to get back to the residence calls, but let's just put a thumbtack on that for right now. By the way, when he calls the residence on this call, he's calling from his own cell phone, right?
That's correct.
He's not calling from a friend's phone.
Correct.
He's not calling from a payphone.
Correct.
He's not calling from a landline.
Correct.
Correct.
The next call you have is a call between Catherine Magbanua and Sigfredo Garcia, correct?
Yes.
And same with the next one we'll skip over. It's between the killers, correct? Garcia and Magbanua?
Correct.
I think I nailed that one.
Now, Harvey Adelson calls Charlie Adelson at 10:16, right?
That's correct.
And this is cell phone to cell phone.
Correct.
And that call happens at 10:16 and it lasts for a little about 5 minutes, right?
Correct. 5 minutes and 18 seconds.
And immediately thereafter, Charlie Adelson calls his dad back. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Are you aware that at the time that these calls happened, the Adelsons, you have them living...
Objection to counsel testifying.
I'll let you finish the question first, but go ahead. Finish your question.
Are you aware, where did you think the Adelsons were living, Donna and Harvey Adelson, at the time of these phone calls?
I don't believe they were living at the Icon at that point. I believe they were living further north.
Would it surprise you that they were living further south, part-time, at a place called the Continuum?
I'm not familiar with that.
Well, did you look at the cell phone, the text messages where they're talking about sharing a place at the Continuum?
I do not recall those.
Do you know whether the Continuum has bad cell phone reception?
I'm not familiar with that at all.
Would these two calls that you have as two different arrows indicate that the call could have gotten cut off and Charlie's calling his dad back?
The call could have ended for any number of reasons, and there's nothing in the records that would tell me it was cut off from a service reason versus just the conclusion of the call.
But the calls are immediately after one another, correct?
Not immediately. They are 6 minutes apart.
With no calls in between, right?
No calls between any of the involved parties. So there could be, if we were to expand and look at all of Charlie's calls, there could be calls to other persons, or Harvey Adelson could have calls to other persons. This summary is limited to just calls between our subjects, and there are no additional calls between our subjects in that time frame.
Fair enough. Skipping 2 away. You then have a call at 10:41 between Katie and Charlie.
That's correct.
And did you look to see whether there were any text messages in between this call?
I do not recall any text messages that evening in Mr. Adelson's return. Now, there was a picture sent that were not retained, and that was the only Communications that I saw in the iCloud return.
And the last 3 sheets have nothing to do with any calls or text messages involving any of the Adelsons, correct?
Correct.
Now, I want to talk to you about this sheet right here, which is this landline sheet. You recall this?
Yes.
And you talked about how it was very significant to you that there were so few contacts between Charlie Adelson or anyone, Charlie Adelson's phone and his parents' house phone, their landline. Remember testifying to that yesterday?
I do.
And remember testifying that this was an indication for you when people use landlines that they might be wanting to disguise things. Do you recall saying that?
That was a question that I was asked. If there was a perception that cell phones were less secure than landlines, I do believe that perception exists. That was my answer to the question.
And this point was important enough to you that you made a whole slide on it.
I was asked to review the frequency of communications from the cell phones compared to the landline and how frequently the landline was contacted versus their cell phones.
On all of the calls to the Adelson's landline, are they all from Charlie Adelson's cell phone?
The ones, yes, we were looking at Charlie Adelson's cell phone. That chart is based exclusively from his cell phone. So we're looking at the cell phone contacts between his cell phone, their cell phones, his cell phone, and their residence is what we're looking at. If he were to call from the office or call from other places, that would not be included.
Is that an indication that he wasn't trying to disguise anything?
I don't know if he's trying to disguise anything or not. Again, I was asked to look at the frequency of communications between the two numbers.
By the way, this landline, did you look at whether the phone number has ever changed since 1978?
I have not.
Let's move on to June 5th.
See what
Mr.
Rash
Jones
was
of,
doing there. I don't think it
Professor
really
Markel's
landed.
home and the return travel to Miami. You went through Charlie's text messages on the 5th during this time period, right?
I reviewed them at some point, yes.
And you reviewed them to see if there was anything out of the normal or routine, correct?
Looking for any information that was related to this travel, the incident, anything like that.
When you reviewed them, did you see anything in this time period in the text messages that looked off?
Again, with hundreds of thousands of messages, I certainly did not attempt to memorize them all. I can look at that day and see. I don't recall anything that appeared off or appeared, that stood out to me.
You were asked about a birthday present. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Was there anything in the text messages discussing a caterer?
There was, yes.
Was there anything in the text messages discussing how Charlie Adelson was working on getting a caterer for the birthday party?
Yes.
He really never stops blinking, does he? It's for real though. Is he just not sleeping? We got a Jen in the house. Jen checking in. What's up, Jen?
Do you
Jen
recall
D.
if those text messages were on June 5th, 2014?
I don't recall the exact date. Again, I can look that up, but
Let me try to help you.
Okay.
May I approach, Robert?
you there. Yes.
On June 5th, do you recall that Charlie Adelson was working late?
I do not.
Do you recall that his parents were talking about going to yoga?
I do not.
Now, I want to move to June 6th and the location of the rental car. Now, the first thing you had behind this slide was a text message between Wendy Adelson and Professor Markel. Do you see that? And let me
And I'm sorry, which?
okay, let me show you so you can catch up.
Yes.
And this is a text message where Wendy Adelson, and it's in evidence, Your Honor, where Wendy Adelson asks Professor Markel whether he's in Tallahassee July 14 to 18. I just want to know if I can have the kiddos on the 16th. Thanks. And she says, yes, you can. You see that?
Mr. Markel says yes, you can.
Sorry,
Yes.
Professor Markel says, yes, you can.
Yes.
See that? Are you aware that that was that there was a birthday party on the 5th in South Beach for Harvey's 70th birthday?
Yes.
And are you aware that the next slide you have Miss Adelson down in South Beach? Are you aware that she attended that birthday party on the 5th and stayed in town on the 6th?
Yes.
Now, in your experience, is it normal for co-parents to text each other about visitation of kids?
Sure.
By the way, she's asking whether she can have the kids on the 16th, right?
She's asking for the date range of the 14th through the 18th. And yes, if I can have the kids on the 16th.
You're aware that Professor Markel's murder happened on the 18th, right?
I am, yes.
Didn't happen on the 16th, right?
That's correct.
And you're aware that Professor Markel had custody of the kids on the 18th, the day that he was murdered, right?
That's correct.
By the way, just moving back very quickly, and I don't know where your slide is on this, but regarding July 2nd, after the incident,
Yes, sir.
can you pull that slide up where you have a text message between Charlie Adelson and Katie, a series of text messages?
Yes, sir. That would be slide 28.
And one of the, can we put slide 28 on the screen? Is that possible? Oh, I'll do it from here.
Actually, the witness stand.
Can you put it on the screen? Did you make a mistake here by accident, Sergeant Corbett?
It's possible these were cut and pasted from the actual Celebrate report.
Isn't it true that Charlie Adelson said this really sucks?
It's possible.
Can you check?
I can.
I remember that one.
Yeah, put your on.
Imagination.
You are correct.
Can we put that back? Can we put your back on the screen? That's right.
In the house. Gins run deep.
And isn't it true that Ms. Magdalena said these two statements, not Charlie Adelson?
Let me double check that.
Yeah, put your on.
By the way,
Yes. That's correct.
Okay. Going back to June 6th, you showed Charlie Adelson staying at Miss Magdalena's residence that evening, correct? You showed him there at 12:30 in the morning and 11:46 in the morning, right?
On the 6th.
On the 6th.
Yes, with the events that we looked at, he had an event at 12:30 a.m. and then the next event at 11:46 a.m.
And that would be consistent with him leaving his parents' party, his dad's party, and staying in South Beach at his girlfriend's house?
It could be, yes.
And looking at the text messages, could you tell that the family was going to get back together in South Beach the next day for dinner?
There was conversation to that, yes.
Now, if we can move to July 14th. Your analysis through the text messages and through the cell site data shows that Charlie Adelson had dinner, or met up, I don't think it says dinner, oh, it actually does, had dinner with Katie Magdalena on the evening of the 14th, correct?
That's correct.
That would be inconsistent with, if there's testimony in this courtroom by Ms. Magdalena saying that she did not have dinner with him that evening, that would be inconsistent with your data, correct?
What I have is a text message indicating that they could eat closer to her residence, and there is location information that Mr. Adelson traveled to that area, traveled away from that area. I don't know exactly where Midtown is, where the request to eat was, and then traveled back to her residence. What they did, I do not know.
Now, what you do have, and this is important, so I want you to go to this page of your exhibit. You have him leaving, Charlie Adelson leaving the area around 12:42 a.m., correct?
He has events consistent with the area for residence at 12:42, and then the next event at 1:02 has traveled some distance. So yeah, somewhere after 12:42, he would depart that area.
Okay. And you have a phone call from Sigfredo Garcia, a call from Katie to Sigfredo Garcia at 12:48.
That's correct.
So that would be consistent that that phone call was made after Charlie Adelson left the residence, correct?
Correct.
If you're looking at patterns, it might indicate to you that Katie wanted to make a call to Sigfredo without Charlie being there, right?
It could be.
By the way, you have no phone calls whatsoever between Charlie and Sigfredo Garcia, or vice versa.
That's correct.
And you have no indication anywhere in this chart, through cell phone data or otherwise, that Katie ever called Sigfredo when Charlie was with her.
I certainly have not analyzed months of location data to see if they could possibly be together when a phone call was made to Mr. Garcia.
Well, let me ask you this question. There's a lot of pages in your exhibit with a lot of dots.
Yes.
On any of those dots, can you tell, none of those dots show that Charlie Adelson was with Katie Magdalena when she ever called Sigfredo Garcia, correct?
That's correct.
July 15, 2014, the Prius rental. What color was the Prius?
Green.
It wasn't silver, right?
The Prius was not silver. It's a mint metallic green.
And is Prius a Toyota or a Nissan?
It is a Toyota.
Now, you did the arrow sheet again for calls on the 15th, right?
Yes.
This time you did it a little bit differently, right?
Yes.
what was different this time versus the way you did it previously?
It was just contacts between persons, as opposed to breaking down each individual call.
And these contacts between persons, some of them might have been callbacks or misconnections or voicemails, correct?
That's correct.
Judge?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say something in regards to bail.
We'll take a brief recess. Please follow the bailiff. Be seated. Mr. Rauschbaum, you may continue with your examination.
Okay, so I think where we left off, I might go back a little bit. Where we left off, we were talking about your slides from July 15th and how they were different than the previous slides. Can you just repeat for the
Yeah, I
jury how
like
they were
them.
different?
Yes. The first time we looked
Sergeant Corbett.
at the calls, shorter time frame, and we looked at each individual event. For this, they were summarized. All the calls are there. They were summarized in the pictures with arrows as just the totality of contacts between certain people. So the total number of contacts and the duration of those contacts.
And those could include
I wasn't
voicemails.
thinking about that either.
Now, are you aware that on the 15th there's some communications between Charlie Adelson and the Adelson residents, correct?
Yes.
Are you aware that from the text messages that there were some billing issues that Charlie was having with his mom that day? Do you recall that?
No.
Okay. Are you aware that his mom was trying to figure out about a bill with a company and what she should do with it?
Objection to hearsay.
Sustained. You may ask the question in a different way.
I'll move on from it. Are you aware that on that day, Mr. Adelson purchased a vehicle?
No.
Are you aware anything in the text messages about partnering in a limo?
I know that there's conversation at various times about limo, but I don't recall specifically from that day.
You don't recall that that was the day when he and others closed on a limo?
No.
Now,
Yeah, we're about to spin a wheel here in just a moment.
you talk
and then
your
go to
slide
book
about the
club.
July 15th meeting between Garcia and Magbanawa.
Yes.
During this meeting, you can tell from cell site data that Mr. Adelson's about an hour north, correct?
I believe so.
Now let's talk about your slides on July 17th. The slides on July 17th, you again have no idea what Mr. Adelson is discussing with Don Adelson, correct?
I don't recall the specifics of any communication that day.
And on the 17th, there's two communications with Ms. Adelson, between Charlie and Donna, correct?
That sounds correct.
And then there's a bunch of communications between Katie, Sigfredo, and Luis Rivera, correct? Several
Yes.
slides.
And I believe there's more than two between, that's Wendy. Yes, I believe I see at least three on the 17th, four, if you count the one in early morning of the 18th between Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson. And then, yes, there are a number of communications between Ms. McMahon and Mr. Garcia.
So we're going to get to the one early in the morning on the 18th. There's a communication early in the morning on the 18th between Charlie Adelson and Catherine McManawa. You see that, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know whether that communication had to do with a fight they had earlier in the day?
I don't.
And the communication with Donna Adelson that morning at 1:02 is a 0-second call, right?
Correct.
Would that be consistent with what I call a butt dial?
It could be a butt dial. It could be an unintentional dial. It's obviously a very, very short duration, was terminated very quickly.
By the way, there's a couple calls that evening between Charlie and Catherine Magbanua. You see that, right?
Yes, sir.
I know you said that you look primarily at days where events occurred, right?
Yes, sir.
But it makes sense that you would also look at days when events don't occur, right?
We did, yes.
So was it common on days when events didn't occur that Charlie Adelson would almost always speak to his girlfriend late at night?
They spoke frequently, yes.
And almost every night they spoke, correct?
I would
Before
agree,
bedtime,
yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
And that would be on a regular day versus an event day, correct?
Correct.
Let's move on to July 18th. And the first document you have is a calendar entry from Wendy Adelson, and that entry is deleted, correct?
Correct.
Do you know of people who delete their calendar entries after they occur?
I'm sorry?
Let me rephrase. Do you keep a calendar?
I do.
Do you know of people who, when the event occurs, they delete it from their calendar?
Yes.
Pretty common, right?
I don't know how common it is, but it certainly happens.
And you have a call at 8:09 in the morning from Wendy to Donna, and then a call at 8:09 in the morning from Donna to Wendy.
Yes.
Right. And then you have, well, let me ask you, were you aware that there was a Best Buy repairman coming to fix a TV that day?
Yes.
And were you aware that the warranty for that TV was in Donna and Harvey Adelson's name?
I've not.
You then have an 811 text where Donna is telling Wendy that Best Buy called her, meaning Donna.
Yes.
Would that be consistent with the warranty being in Donna and Harvey's name?
It could be.
You then have a text from Wendy Adelson, which says, "This is so sweet." You remember that?
Yes.
Could you tell that it was a picture?
I don't know that it was a picture.
Okay. Do you know what it was?
Just a text that said this is so sweet.
And that ominous text, scary text, that was also deleted, right?
It was, yes.
Now, you then have a call between Charlie Adelson and Wendy Adelson at 9:12. It lasts for only 29 seconds. Is that consistent with not reaching the recipient of the call?
Yes.
And then you have another slide with a call at 9:19 where Wendy Adelson calls Charlie Adelson back and they speak for 18 minutes, right?
Correct.
Now, through your investigation, are you aware that Charlie Adelson was working in Jupiter that day?
I do not recall it.
Do you happen to know how far Jupiter is from Charlie Adelson's house?
It's a distance.
Okay. Would it surprise you that can be a 2-hour drive?
No,
And do you know that when he started work that day in Jupiter?
I do not.
Okay. Do you know about what was
One
taught?
moment. Bailiff, please escort out the person whose phone is ringing.
Oh shit! You done fucked up now. Dude, if it was Joel. This is Joel right here from Surviving the Survivor. Just get the hell out of here. Wait, it's it's Dan Markel's mom. Dan Markel's mom is being kicked out. It's crazy.
The gallery's conduct during the trial. If there are any more issues with phones, murmuring audibly, or anything else, you are leaving the trial.
Whoa! You get kicked all the way off this thing. Oh, he doesn't care who you are. Damn, son. All right, we're going to pause right there, and we'll pick this back up on Sunday. This is a long one. This was actually close to 4 hours long, this testimony. I'm putting up my microphone. Put this testimony right here. 4 hours long. But right now, we got a wheel spin. Let's spin this wheel. Let's spin this wheel. We're going to spin it. First, I got to turn off my green screen. All right, good luck everybody on here. I know Amanda and Jen have this thing pretty much locked down, so we'll see what happens. Good luck, guys. Oh, yeah, powerful one. Jersey Jen picking up the victory. Boom. She definitely deserves it. My God, coming through here amazingly on the reg. Always the best. Thank you, Jersey Jen. G up in here in the Buzz Nation. She knows that. So right now, let me get you on the list. And right now we're getting ready to go to book club. We're getting ourselves through chapters 38 and 39. And now we're only got 5 chapters left. But tonight, I'm going to go over my notes. And these were 2 short chapters, so it's not the longest thing. But we're going to go over it. And the next 2 chapters are kind of long, so we'll see how the hell that one goes. But let me get you on here. Jersey Jen. Boom. Yep. And like I said, I'm going to start getting that stuff out here very soon. Even tomorrow, I'm going to try to make that happen. I just got to do it. I've got the envelopes. There's no excuse now. Just got to do it, baby. Oh, shit. And right here. Jen, per the usual, being amazing, giving that win away to Amanda Calendar. So, Amanda, just get at me. Publiclybuzzed@gmail.com. I need to know where to send that stuff. You're going to get a coaster, Hell Yeah magnet, Murder Church magnet, and a Publicly Buzzed sticker. So, hell yes. Boom. Jen Nation. Best in the world. We doing it, baby. We doing it. Congratulations, though. Thank you so much, Jen. Always being incredible. But right now, we are getting ready to go through... Oh, her phone went off after he had already... I don't know if it was hers that went off twice, but Everett had already made one call out to the gallery saying if the next time it happens, it's not going to be good. So now he's really gotten mad, and he kicked out Dan Markel's mom. Kicked her out. said, "Get out of here." So that was kind of an insane moment there. Just looking through here, but yeah, make sure if you don't come into book club, which hopefully you're part of the Buzz Nation here, you can come on in. But if you're not, come back through here Thursday. Every Thursday night, we are now doing reaction videos to Body Cam, and it's been fun. And then I got Missy Mayhem coming on here Friday for a Halloween movie. We're gonna have a creepy night. But everyone that's come through here, I appreciate the shit out of it. And yeah, let's kick Wednesday's ass. But first, we got to get through the book club. Come on over. Let's go.
This verse, nothing to see here, please.